Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to take a look at fixing and repairing a vintage Mego V.i.n.cent from Disney's The Black Hole. Now this is a toy I've had since childhood. This is my childhood toy, as you can see here, and pretty much as soon as I got this I managed to break off the two guns that are supposed to stick out the front here. And I was reminded of it recently by a fellow toy collector and subscriber, the V.i.n.cent toy collector, because he was talking about restoring his vintage Mego V.i.n.cent. So I thought I'd take a look into seeing what could be done about fixing this figure. And it turns out that there's a couple of people online on eBay who sell, well, they don't actually sell the replacement parts, but they sell sort of reconditioned V.i.n.cents. So I got in contact with one of those, and that was a guy called Star Wars -- Collector, who had these sort of reconditioned V.i.n.cents, and asked him whether I could actually just buy some parts off him, and kindly he did actually sell them to me. So I managed to purchase a couple of the front guns, as you can see here. These should fit in there, and these are modern reproductions made in plastic, and they look pretty good. They're pretty reasonable replacement part. The quality of them is nice. I also bought off him a replacement display stand. This should have been originally this was made out of a clear plastic, but this is a modern one made in black, and you can see on the bottom of it does have all of the copyright details, and so I can use that to hold V.i.n.cent up, which makes him look a lot better. So let's go ahead and we'll replace these lasers, and then the next thing I want to look at after that is replacing the text that is clearly missing. It's all worn off on the front and back of mine. So let's first up take this apart and fit the new lasers. So luckily, like all older Mego toys, it's held together with screws, so taking V.i.n.cent apart should be quite straightforward. I've never done this before on him, so let's see what he looks like on the inside, but should be pretty standard. If the screws are rusty, which is often a problem with them, then remember my tip for dropping them in white vinegar. Check out my video on sort of getting rust off old screws. Luckily on this one of mine, the screws are in nice condition. Right, so with the screws removed I should be able to pull the back of this off, and there you go, you can see what he looks like. It's a fairly simple construction. You've got the two legs here, the two grey side bits. All of these pieces actually can be bought as reproduction, so if any of yours are broken, get in touch with the guy on eBay. I'll put a link in this video, and then take that head off, and there you can see the back of the guns, which are snapped cleanly through. So it looks like these are they glued in place? It does look like they might be glued in place, so I'm going to have to see if I can prise those out somehow. So I'm going to try and pull these out. It does look like they're glued in place, so I'm just going to use a pair of pliers here to see if I can twist this about. Oh no, and it snapped. So that's not as easy as I would have hoped. So I think I'm going to go and have to get my drill out and actually just drill these gently out with a very small drill bit. Right, so here we have the holes drilled out. You do have to be quite careful with this. I've drilled these fairly neatly, and I just did a test putting in one of these replacement guns. I've actually managed to break off part of the end of it. Luckily it's only a small portion, as you can see here, and won't make any difference, but do be very careful when doing this. So now I should be able to put these new guns back in place. So I've made sure the holes are big enough, and I can just drop them in like so. As you can see, they look pretty good already, and to be honest, I probably could drop a little bit of glue just on the back of them just to hold them in place, but I don't actually think I'm going to bother. I think I'll just sort of leave it as is. I can now go ahead and put the figure back together, and then we'll sort out putting some replacement text on the top bit here. So let's get V.i.n.cent all back together. Again, nice easy job, because it's just couple of screws, but you just got to remember to put it all back in the right sort of way. So the legs have to go around a certain way, and these little arm pieces have to go in a certain way. So let's get this all screwed back together. So already V.i.n.cent is looking much better. The replacement guns look pretty good. It'd be hard pushed to tell that these weren't the original ones, and as you can see they're fairly straightforward to fit. The next thing I want to do is on the front of Vincent here, just on above, well, so on the top of his chest below his eyes, it used to say Vincent LF396 in the same colour that is sort of used for the top of his head here and around his eyes, and it also said this on the back of his body here as well, but over the years this has worn off. It's a pretty common problem with these sort of decals and stuff that are used on these toys. They just get worn. So what I've done is in Photoshop I've made a very small file that contains the writing. Here you go. And I've curved the text so that hopefully when I place it onto the Vincent toy here, the curve matches the shape of his chest and it will end up looking flat. So this is my little test piece here. As you can see, that works quite nicely. So what I'm going to do now is print that onto some clear sticky backed paper. Previously I've used sticky backed clear vinyl, but that's actually pretty thick, so I've bought some new stuff to try which is made from acetate, so it should be thinner and hopefully will look just as good. So let's go ahead and print this. So here's the final file printed onto the clear acetate. As you can see, I've actually made a couple of versions. I've got the version to go on the front, and on the back of my Vincent figure there should also be a red triangle here just above this white bar, which is missing. So I thought I would see if I could recreate that and also print that out. So I've got a second version with the triangle underneath. So I'll just go ahead and cut these out and we'll see about applying them and see how it looks. So we're going to do some very careful cutting here to get these as close and as small as I possibly can. So here are the two final stickers, and I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to very carefully remove the backing from the sticker and then apply it to the toy. So let's see how easy that is. Probably particularly fiddly. And so here we have the final version of Vincent. As you can see, the replacement decal on the front looks pretty good. It actually, I would say, almost looks cleaner than the original one. I've seen some photos of an original Vincent with where the text hasn't worn off, and it's pretty blurry. So this is a nice sharp version of the text there. The text on the back also looks good, and I've managed to match where the triangle of red was missing, so it's pretty nice. There's a little bit of a ruck there to the top part of the sticker. I may be able to improve that. I think that's just because I've left a little bit too much edge on. If I cut that a bit closer, that should fit nicely. And the reproduction stands and guns look pretty cool. So I will put all the relevant links in the text to this video, so you can find where I got the guns from, and also I will put the replacement decal PDF on my website for anyone who wants to do this themselves. So I hope that's been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.